Realer than real.
Hello, everyone.
Realer than real.
It's so nice to see you. Hi there, neighbor. I'm trying to think of any other typical welcomings from any famous TV shows, but I can't really think of any right now. But it doesn't matter because the only thing that matters is that you are here with me on the best podcast in the world. Yes, I cannot confirm my sources, but hold on, I'm getting something now. Yeah, sources can confirm that this is the best podcast in the world that you're currently listening to. Congratulations, you have impeccable taste. Let's get into it. He's, she's, gays, theys, all my baddies and my daddies. Welcome back to the Realer Than Real pod with your host and your best friend who's wearing a bright color for once. I think this is probably the brightest color I've worn on this podcast, besides white. But this is the first time I've actually added some color. And I love that for me. Anyway, my name is Shamira. Sometimes in this world, we keep things real. We can keep things very real. But on this podcast right here, we keep things realer than real. Can I get an amen? You guys, before we get into the nitty gritty, before we get into this thing between me and you, I just have a few things to ask of you. Lean in really quickly. If you like what we have going on here, right? If you like what we have here and you're ready to take it to the next level, I just ask that you do one thing for me. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, I just ask that you go ahead and smooch that like button for me. I know we're very early into the episode, but I feel like if you're here at season 2, episode 3, you already can trust that I'm going to give you quality content. So why delay the inevitable? Go ahead and like this video and maybe even subscribe to the channel, maybe even turn on those bell notifications. Well, hold on now. I don't think we're moving too fast at all. I think we are just where we need to be, you and I. But yes, if you go ahead and smash that like button on YouTube, it'll let the CEO of YouTube and whoever else needs to know, hey, now this girl right here who records this oddly lit podcast in her studio living room, quote unquote living room, I like her. And I think that you should kind of bump her up in the algorithm so that more people can enjoy her. Now, let's say you don't listen, or let's say you don't watch the podcast on YouTube. Babe, that's fine. I feel like the baddies watch the podcast on YouTube. The daddies listen to it. Not to make anyone feel weird, but I'm just saying. I think it's not, okay, so if I were to break it down, I think it's the he's, the theys, and the daddies that listen to the podcast on either Spotify or Apple Music. And the she's, the gays, and the baddies, they're the ones that are watching it. If I had to guess, if I had to look at my analytics, I'm sure that's exactly verbatim what they would say. But in any regard, if you're listening to this podcast on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give me a good old 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review so that you can let Mrs. Spotify and Mr. Apple know, hey, this girl right here who rambles and sometimes gets lost in her own points, I like her. And I think we should go ahead and bump her up in the algorithm and let everyone else know what an absolute delight she is. If you all do those little things for me, I will appreciate you forever and ever and ever more. Thanks. So you guys, last week, one of the Reddit questions I answered, I kind of went on a really quick flash round into previous jobs that I had. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of go into depth about some of my previous jobs that I had and just talk about kind of the ins and outs, what I learned from them, what I go back to them. If you're someone who's looking for a job now, what I recommend looking into those jobs. And yeah, so the first job that I had, I'm pretty sure it was my senior year of high school. And I worked at the ever infamous Chipotle Mexican Grill. Funny enough, Chipotle is actually, I don't want to say in hot water right now, but there is this thing going on at Chipotle where allegedly managers are telling their staff that if someone has out their phone and they're recording you like put together their order, that you're just supposed to go ahead and load them up, because Chipotle has been in hot water for forever for allegedly not giving people enough food. I'm telling you this as a former Chipotle employee, and I'm going to touch your hand when I say this, and some of y'all are not going to like this. If I'm taking your order, let's say it's just casual, and I give you that first scoop of rice, and you decide to be a little sneak and take out that phone and record me because you think you're going to get more food, I ain't giving you shit, bitch. Here's my thing, right? It could have changed because, you know, trainings change all the time. When I was working at Chipotle, we were told to give 1 scoop of each thing, because each like spoon is our different measurements of whatever. So like the spoons that we use for, actually, I might remember all the measurements for most things, but the spoons that we use for like rice, or the spoons that are used for like rice, beans, meat, sour cream, I think is another one. And like the mild salsa, that's all supposed to give you 4 ounces of food. And I'm looking at you right now, and trust me, I'm big backed as well. I'm telling you right now, 1 scoop is enough. But even if it's not enough for you, you know what used to really grind my gears when I used to work at Chipotle? I'm telling you this. I'm gonna give you the secret. Forget every single hack you've ever heard in the past about how to get more food from Chipotle. I'm going to tell you how to get the most food from Chipotle. Just fucking ask. So the problem, I'm about to, let me readjust myself because I'm heated. The problem nowadays, and I so hate this, I hate when people feel like everything is like a trick and a hack. If you want to get more food at Chipotle, try this simple life hack. Ask for a tortilla on the side of your burger. It'll be more. Shut up. You know how dumb you sound? Do you know how dumb you sound? This is a hill I'm willing to die on. To be fair though, most opinions that I feel strong about, I'm willing to die on that hill. But here's my thing, because in my experience, the people who just simply ask, if I put in that first scoop of rice and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, can I have some more rice? Sure, no problem. I might put in another scoop and be like, oh, is that okay? But here's where you're not going to get more food. If I hear you suck your teeth, if I see you roll your eyes, bitch, I'm sliding that bowl down the line. Goodbye. Have a good day. I don't have to deal with you anymore. And some of y'all might be saying, oh, it don't come out of your check. Why are you doing that? Okay, but here's the thing. Let's say I do give you a double scoop of chicken, right? But I don't say I gave you double chicken. Do you think I want my manager's hot ass breath on my neck talking about, can you come to the back with me? Do you think I want to sit there through that talk? It's not coming out of my check. I know that. Trust me. This food's not coming out of my check. But I don't want to lose my job? ? The fuck? Bro, people piss me clean off. It's annoying. You are not going to get extra food by acting like a baby. When I tell y'all, let me tell you this one story one time, right? Chipotle's close at 10 o'clock. I don't know if that's universal, but I'm pretty sure it is. Chipotle's closed at 10 o'clock. I promise you, the clock probably said 9:58 and 59 seconds. The doors are already locked probably. Chairs are probably already up in the lobby, and we're already breaking down the line to close the store. Somebody comes in. What the fuck, bro? Now, I think it was like it's me and like a bunch of other workers up front, right? We're telling them, sorry, the store is closed, like we can't serve you. Mind you, it's not 10 o'clock yet. And don't even try to pull a Karen right now in the comments and be like, well, if it's not 10 o'clock, you can't close. If you've worked any type of job ever, you know that basically, I'm going to be gracious here. If it is within the last 10 minutes before you close, bro, no, it's not happening. I don't even like to go to places if I'm in the 30 minutes that they close. That's embarrassing. But we were closed. But okay, the hours, we had like a minute and 30 seconds till we closed. Any self-respecting human would not have walked in and expected us to give them service. So we're all telling them we're closed. Of course, here comes the manager. And one thing about food service managers, if you're a food service manager who does this, come to the front. Why the fuck are y'all so good at undercutting your employees, especially when we reinforce store policies? This is an isolated incident, but there's been several times when no matter what job I've worked at, where I've told a customer, this is what I can't do because this is our policy. And here comes my chipper ass, happy to please ass manager. Oh, no, we can do this. Just go ahead and do it for him. You and her can both go to hell. How about that? And I understand that most industries are customer service and you have to do right by the customer, but it is just so annoying to have this policy told to you and in multiple instances be told, no, we cannot do this. This is against our store policy. What's that one? It was like a TikTok trend song. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Book 'em. What? Anywho, so we're telling this person we're closed. I'd also like to add in that they were heavily inebriated and being really aggressive. It was not a good idea to serve them in that time. It wasn't even a good idea to have them in their store. Like, I feel like that was like the quiet part that no one was wanting to say out loud. Like, it was very clearly going to get hostile if we didn't serve them, but we honestly should not have served them. Whatever. So, mind you, again, it's very close to the time it's closing. Because we let them in, now the door's unlocked, another couple walks in. 2 couples, and now we're serving them after 10. If I was a cartoon character, there would be steam coming out of my ears. I was so pissed at my manager. And now usually, here's something I'll say. Oh, my battery's gonna die, hold on. So mind y'all, it was close to the time we're closing. It's the end of the night. So the food that we have left, the food that was left is the food that was left. We're not making any extra. There's none in the back. None of that. So the little bit of rice that's left, I put it in the bowl. Dude already starts sucking his teeth. I'm like, oh, great. It's going to be one of these people. Now, mind you, like I just told you, if you want extra, just ask for it. If his demeanor was even slightly nicer, and look, before people say this, because I'm not trying to come off as like this complaining person that like has this ego trip where it's like, if you want something extra from me, you're going to have to be nice to me, even though being nice is like, that's the bare bones minimum. Because I remember once there was this one guy, he came in with a temper, right? But something about him was like, ew, I was gonna say that cringy thing of like, this isn't you. I can see this in you. Everybody else was being kind of off-putting to him, but I was just like, whatever. I don't really care. I don't know this dude like that. And I was nice to him. And from then on, when I tell you that was my roll dog. That was like my homie whenever he came in. He would leave a tip in the jar, right? He'd always give me a little extra. Him and his wife, they were so sweet to me. So I'm by no means am I saying that I expect people to come in there with a smile and be happy and chipper. But when you come in and off rip, you're sucking your teeth because I gave you the rice that was left, now we have a problem. Now we have beef. So we go down, give them the beans that they want. We get to the meat. The meat is truly the make or break of the customer scenario. That will determine how they treat you for the rest of the time that they're there. He asked for chicken. I put in the scoop of chicken that is allowed, that is enough. Have y'all ever been called a dumb bitch for not giving someone a full scoop of chicken? Because I have. Right here, I have. When I tell y'all this man sucked his eyes, threw his hands up, said, God, this dumb bitch, like fully yelled. And I'm just like, sir, have some decorum. This is a Chipotle at you're past 10 o'clock now. Mind you, now he starts wilding. He's truly cussing me out. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Guess, I'm not trying to start no drama. I don't know who's ever listening to this at the time. But my manager didn't say a diddly darn thing at the time. Now, me personally, mind you, I've never been in a managerial role. Let me start off by saying that. I'll give that caveat. But if I'm personally making my staff work after hours, and now that staff member who maybe told me, maybe warned me, oh, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, Now that staff member is getting aggressively berated by this person as the manager. Do you think I'm going to allow that to go on? I wouldn't, but it surely did continue to happen. And the second that I started to say something, guess who was told to be quiet? Guess who was told, no, don't say anything. It wasn't until the other customer in the line, who was so sweet, and she says, dude, calm down. They're doing you a favor. They're literally closed right now. They don't have to serve us. And he just walked out, and he didn't take his food with him. So this is why I get so passionate about this particular topic. When y'all get up here and y'all complain, oh, I didn't get enough food. And I'm not even saying y'all are wrong, because best believe I've had to DoorDash Chipotle a few times, and I take my bowl out of the bag, and y'all might as well have given me air in the bowl. I'm not saying y'all are wrong by any means. I can definitely say that if you're DoorDashing, Uber Eats, or Grubhubbing that order, be prepared to not get as much food. That I can say wholeheartedly. But in store, when you can see the person putting the bowl together, all you have to do is ask, like you have some fucking manners, and you will get the food that you want. This I can promise you. Look, I love you, right? I love you and I care about you. I don't want you to be upset with me, but I'm just telling you, as a former person who used to wear that all black with that ugly ass apron and them non-slip shoes, the Van style, of course, I'm telling you, bad bitch to bad bitch, all you have to do is ask, and don't be an asshole. And I promise you, that poor Chipotle worker will give you the food that you want. And this podcast is sponsored by I'm just saying, y'all, because I used to work there, I'm telling y'all, I get it from both ends, because I still eat Chipotle to this day. And sometimes when I go in there, they be on some bullshit. I promise you. But just ask. You go in there, you don't see the scoop of rice. You go in there and they put that first scoop in, and you're like, oh, that's not enough. Just say, hey, I'm sorry. Can I get a little more rice, please? Literally like that. Same tone, same vocal intonation and everything. I promise you'll be fine. But if you go in and you say any of the following things, all these things have been said to me, by the way. Oh, this dumb bitch. That's all I'm going to get. Ooh, I'm telling you, one time, bro, when this woman said, that's all I'm going to get, with a line to the door, I said, give me 1 second. And I had to leave the line. That pushed my buttons so quickly, bro. Because, is that how you talk to people? Food service, I mean, much like retail, I've never worked a retail job, but from what I see online, or from what I hear from like people who have worked retail, sometimes just as a customer, you're just kind of stupid sometimes. And obviously, as someone else who goes to businesses, I'm sometimes a customer, and I'm I'm embarrassed when I ask for help about anything, because I'm like, oh, I hope they don't think this is stupid. I hope this isn't something that they remember years later that they end up talking about on a podcast. But such is life. I don't want the segment to go too long, so I think I'll just talk about the next job that I had, and then we'll maybe just keep this running as like a mini series, right? The next job I had was my sophomore year of college. Again, another food service job. But this time, your girl was a server. Now, y'all just heard all the nightmare stories I had when I worked at Chipotle. I was not like a server at Chipotle, right? Like, you're not considered a server when you work on the line. But this time I was. And it was worse. So, my school, I went to Roanoke College. That's in Southwest Virginia. Not Southwest Virginia, but Southwest Virginia. The southwestern part of Virginia. And I worked at a little restaurant, a little ditty called McAdoo's, which is, I don't know if it's like a chain restaurant outside of Virginia, but yeah. Basically, your average kind of like, restaurant bar type place. They had like good food and stuff. McAdoo's was fine. Like, being a server was fine. There was some like There was more embarrassing moments. It wasn't all like super embarrassing, but there were some things that were very humbling in food service. I remember once, obviously I'm from Baltimore. When someone orders a half and half in Baltimore City, that means half lemonade, half iced tea. Now, apparently, allegedly, it's called an Arnold Palmer. I don't know nothing about that. I just know that a half and half is half lemonade, half tea. So when I worked at this restaurant in Virginia, and this woman, or maybe it was a man, I actually don't remember, but I know it's a person, obviously. And they said, can I get a half and half? And I brought them back half lemonade, half iced tea. And I brought it out to them. And I went to take their order. I came back out to check on them. She's like, hey, this tastes kind of weird. And I was like, oh, I don't know why. Like, do you know what's wrong with it? She was like, I don't know. It just tastes a little off. And then she took another sip in front of me and she said, it tastes like there's lemonade in it. And I said, yeah, it's a half and half. And she said, half and half? I feel like I sound like that one Tana Mojo video, bleach and tone, like a bleach and tone. But I was like, yeah, half and half is half lemonade, half iced tea. Y'all, you know what she said to me? She gave me the classic, bless your heart. No, please. She surely did say, bless your heart. A half and half is half sweet tea, half unsweet tea. Girl, what's the point of that? I mean, I guess maybe I understand it's like diluting your sweet tea, but like, I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, oh, where I'm from, it means something different. Let me get you what you want then. And I go to the back and I'm asking all my like fellow servers who, for the most part, most of them were locals. Some of us were college kids, but it was more locals working on that shift. And I said, did y'all know this is what this is called? And they said, yeah, you dumb bitch. And I said, oh, that was not as bad, right? That was fine. I'm trying to think of some other memorable times from serving, sorry. I remember, oh God, this restaurant, they used to do like a wing deal every Wednesday. And this woman, she got I think it was like, we'll say like 33 cents for wings, right? And I think I accidentally charged this woman full price. Well, actually, there was a few things wrong with her check. I don't know. One of them nights, right? Whatever. I'm just a girl. So I had to keep going back and getting her check fixed. By the third time, she had it with me, which honestly, I can't even blame her. But I was so embarrassed because our kitchen had like the swinging door. So I was in the back and I was just trying to gather myself before I had to go back out to her table and collect her payment. Because at this point, I'm preparing myself for just like cold, like just true like bitterness and even just, just some like berating, some belittling. And I'm standing in the kitchen and I see her approach the swinging double doors and I see her do this in the window. For those of you who aren't watching, she gave me the singular come here finger movement. I felt like I was a little kid in school because this is like an older white woman. I just felt like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. And then she starts tight-lipped talking to me. She says, you charge me full price for the wings. And then she says, follow me. I said, ma'am, I work here. But I'm like, okay, I don't know where she's taking me. I'm thinking she's about to take me up front and just straight up beat my ass. She shows me, bitch, this is actually so embarrassing. This woman takes me to the front of the restaurant where we have on a big whiteboard that says wings are 39 cents. At this point, I'm in tears. I'm in shambles because not only am I wrong, but now she's made me feel stupid. So now I go to the back. I used to have this one manager of the restaurant. Her name was Leah. She was a no-nonsense type of gal. She was the type of person where you did not want to be on her bad side because boy, did she have a fury like no other. So I was on her good side. I go up to her in the office. I'm like, Leah, can you fix this for me? This woman keeps yelling at me. And she's like, why are you crying? And I said, this woman keeps yelling at me because I keep making these mistakes and she's like really upset with me and all this stuff. She says, wait, she's yelling at you? And I said, yeah. And she's like, give me the receipt. And she said, you don't have to follow me. Stay in the kitchen. But I can hear Leah because she's loud. And she tells this woman, Ma'am, I understand that you're upset. The woman cuts her off. She says, your server, she must have called me like incompetent or something. She called me something though. Now I tell you, Leah did not have any of that. She cut her quick off and said, you do not talk about one of my servers like that. She says she must have said something like, she's trying her hardest and all this stuff. You don't have to be so difficult with her. She says, you know what? I don't think she called her a bitch, but in my mind, she basically called her a bitch. She said, you know what, bitch? Your meal is comped. Get out of my restaurant. When I tell you I was gagged, I was gooped and gagged. Now, that's the way the manager's supposed to be. Now, clock that. That's the way a manager's supposed to fucking be. Ugh. Yeah. And then that was it. Period. I'm trying to think of one other story. I actually have a really good one. So let me get up close to y'all really quick. Hold on. Let me set the mic down. So I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, you can. Wait, is this it right here? Yeah. So as you can see, I have this scar, right? From a little burn, right? So at McAdoo's, we had this French onion soup. Very hot, like all of our other soups. They come fresh and hot. And I'm carrying this soup. I had like a 6-top. It was pretty busy this day. I had like a 6-top, a family. And I'm taking this tray of food out. Like I said, we're really busy this day, so food was a little slow. I'm usually good with checking it on my tables. Even if their food is slow, I found that I usually got tips. I also think, and I'm going to say the quiet part out loud, being a young black girl in the South can go one of two ways. Usually for me, very rarely did it go a negative way. It kind of went a good way, which, you know, it's not the serve that you think it is, but if it's getting me that tip money, you know. Anyway, so coming out the kitchen and I have all their food on a tray, swinging doors. Someone came into the kitchen right as I was about to leave out, and that tray or that door bumped into the tray, and the soup is right over my shoulder, and it spills right here, and it is freshly off the stove soup. One of the hostesses was right there as it happened. There's nothing you could do in that moment. It happened. She said, oh my God, you want me to take the soup? And I said, yes, my flesh is burning off my skin. She takes the food out to the table. I try to get myself cleaned up in the bathroom. I put like a little bandage on. I go out to my table. I say, hey, your soup spilled. I'm going to get you another one. Or no, I go out and say, hey, is everything okay? Like, do you have everything you need? Before I could even say what happened to the soup, here comes this bitch at the table. We didn't get our soup. And I said, yeah, it spilled on me. I'll get you another one. And she said, oh, but the way she said, okay, actually, I might have been the problem here because I probably need to say this, but the way she said, okay, it pissed me off. It pissed me clean off. I said, yeah, it spilled on my skin. It's burning right now, but just give me a second. I'll get you another one. So, no, I feel like, no, the interaction had to be different or something. I think the hostess took the food out to them. And I went to go check on them. Bro, I feel like the conversation went different. Because I feel like I told them first, I spilled your soup on me, and I had to run to the bathroom really quick to but there's no way I would have said, there's no way with burning flesh I went to that table still. I don't remember. But I do remember that her response to the burning soup that currently sizzled off a piece of my flesh was not anything near compassion or empathy. She straight up was like, all right, yeah, you're burning skin, blah, blah, blah. Snap, snap on my French onion soup, biatch, is basically what I heard her say. I don't know. But yeah, and then I remember I had to go to the hospital, and then I got a check for workman's comp or workers' comp or whatever it's called. So yeah, working in the food service industry was, for those to be my first two experiences. And so for Chipotle, I worked basically every summer from my junior year of college from my senior year of high school to my junior year of college. So I worked there for my junior year of high school. It was from April to August, because then I went to college. And then every year after that, it was just the summertime. So, May to August, May to August, May to August. And then after I graduated college my senior year, I told myself I wasn't going back. But that was for a whole other plethora of reasons. And maybe when I eventually do an episode on all of my relationships I've had in the past, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We're going to get realer than real in the future, you and I. Don't you worry. And then I only worked at McAdoo's my sophomore year of college because, honestly, my sophomore year of college was so hard for me for so many reasons. I struggled more with my classes more than I ever did. I had a lot going on at home. I think that was the year that my mom got diagnosed with cancer. So it was a lot going on that year. But more than anything, I was like, oh shoot, I'm making real money. Like I'm walking away every night with cold hard cash in my pocket. Babe, I messed up my priorities altogether. When I tell y'all making money was at the top of my list, I was a server first and a student second, and that was not good. So I only worked there my sophomore year because after that I was like, I need to get a job on campus because I can't keep going like this. I made it out of my sophomore year of college by the skin of my teeth. And I'm almost sure that my stat teacher passed me because she liked me. Because I swear, one day I looked in that portal, it said F. The next day I looked, it said I had a D. I said, you know what? D's get degrees. Let's get to going. I'm not taking stat again. So, yeah, it was a crazy time. But there's tons more jobs to talk about, and I'm so excited. But we will continue this mini-series over the next couple weeks. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I would say right now, you and me have a really good thing going. So let's take it even further, and that is to other social media platforms. Whether you want to follow my journey or the podcast, there's always a way to keep this thing between us growing and flourishing and fed. You can follow me on TikTok at shookmira or subscribe to me on YouTube at Shamira James. And if you want to keep up with the pod, it's basically just the Realer Than Real pod on everything. When you see the beige screen with the black and pink accents, just know you've made it home. Alrighty, you guys, welcome back, everyone. Gather on in, find your seats. End of the first segment, beginning of the second segment. It can literally only mean one thing, and that is that it's time for drinks of the week. Now look, it could be because it's very, very late or early, depending on how you look at it being 1:30 in the morning, but that kind of ate. Anywho, I actually do have a drink of the week, and I'm so excited because this is one of my favorite beverages. Of course, we do have the water here. You know that's a given. Gonna take a quick sip. That's oh so refreshing. I actually think I have 3 beverages here. I got 1 sip left of my lemon lime Olipop, so we're going to finish that. But the star of the show, this little ditty right here. So this is one of my favorite wines of all time. My boyfriend's sister-in-law actually told me about this. She put me on, I think this was 2 New Years ago or 1 New Year ago. It's called Voulet, Voulet. There's a umlaut over the U. Clock that. I know a little bit about something. But this wine is 0.5% alcohol. So she's real light. Honestly tastes like juice. And I'm not one of those like alcoholics that tell you that like, oh, this tastes like juice and it tastes like rubbing alcohol and gasoline mixed together. Like, no. 0.5% alcohol, basically juice. When I tell y'all, that's good. That's so good. I just wanted to have like an interesting drink of the week for once. And I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I figured why not? We get a little fun with it. But this is like my all-time favorite wine. I'm not really a wine person. I might have a glass every now and again, but when I say I'm not a wine person, I mean that I don't know a ton about wine like I feel like a lot of people do. I don't know pairings. I don't know like what wines go best with like what food and stuff. Like, I don't know any of that. What I do know is this wine right here, I'm a big fan of. She's delicious. Actually, BRB, I want to put some ice in it. I got the ice in. A little ASMR for you. And one more sip. Chilled wine is just so much better. You guys, it's been a while since we've had a successful, fruitful drinks of the week, but I'm happy to report that was what that was for me. As usual, you know, I'm hella nosy. I'm the nosiest bitch you'll ever meet. And because of that, if you have a drink in your general vicinity, I want to know what that drink is. I don't know why I want to know, but I just do. And I don't know why you're holding out on me. Let's talk about that. Thought we were friends, but whatever. I'm joking, but I really would like to know what your drinks of the week are at any given time. It doesn't even have to be, even if you're not listening to this podcast live, like right at 7 when I post it. Babe, I still want to know. Even if you're not listening, you know, and you can put it in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. Even if you're not watching on YouTube, even if you're driving, I want you to get on your phone. No, I'm joking. That was a joke, you guys, please. But I want you to find a way to tell me what you're drinking on because I would love to know. So, yeah. Thanks. That was Drinks of the Week. Not the intro and the outro and the drink selection 8. Babe, I need to go win the lottery because I'm feeling lucky. Anywho, so last episode, I really, really, really liked doing the Reddit advice thread. So I figured we would just go through it again. I just really like giving out advice. I love hearing the things that people are talking about. And more importantly, I like to feel like what I'm saying makes a difference. So that's what we're going to do. This one looks juicy. It's a little bit long though. Strap in though. It's going to be a good time. So the headline, I'm dating my celebrity crush and I don't know what to do. First of all, bitch, how does it feel to live my dream? I'm pretty sure they don't say who it is, but let's see. So I'm going to read the story. So this story began several months back. I, 28-year-old female, was absent-mindedly scrolling on TikTok and a video pops up of this really cute guy, 29, doing some kind of interview. I thought he was cute and funny, so I began to go down a rabbit hole of hashtags with his name, and I realized that he's well known in his profession, to the point where I found edits of him people were making, which I obviously saved because, as stated, he was cute and I'm Delulu. I started getting more and more videos of him on my feed, and thanks to my algorithm, I started getting more and more videos of him on my feed thanks to my algorithm, and by this point, he's full on a crush. Well, I started paying a little more attention to the sport that he competes in and wound up purchasing tickets to an event he would be competing in, hoping and praying I would get a chance to meet him. Well, as you can probably guess from the title, I did. He had a meet and greet after he competed, and I went. We chatted while he signed a shirt I had bought, and then obviously I had to let the next person in line have their turn. I walked away happy to meet him, or happy I met him, but being reminded that life is not Wattpad, which is, if you don't know, it's like a website where people go and write fan fictions, basically. And that it's probably just a nice interaction between a fan and a celebrity. Slightly sad that my meet and greet was over, I decided to try and go enjoy the rest of the event with a friend. An hour goes by and my friend and I are in line to grab food when someone behind me taps me on the shoulder. It was him again. Okay, so first of all, this story reads like a fan fiction, but okay. We chat some more. He's flirting and trying to reciprocate through the nervousness. We exchange numbers and make plans to hang out the next day. All goes really well on our date, and we've been dating for almost 3 months, but I'm scared if he finds out that I saved edits of him and practically chased him down, that he's going to start seeing our relationship differently and leave me. I have since deleted all the edits because I was scared that he would find them. I truly don't see him as a celebrity anymore. He's just my boyfriend whom I love and respect, but I want to know if it's weird that I basically was an obsessed fangirl at first. Like, is this relationship doomed? Some people say that a celebrity can't date a fan because of the power dynamic. But like I said, he's literally just John. Obviously a fake name for anonymity. I've never seen that word written out before, so God bless. I really do love him, but I'm scared that if he finds out how this all started, he'll think I'm chasing the idea of him and not him as a person, and question my motive for being with him or make him feel creeped out. What do I do? First of all, bitch, who is it? Let me know who it is, because I want to know if you're dating one of my celebrity crushes, because that's going to depend on the advice that I give you. Because if you're dating any one of my 50 million celebrity crushes, break up with him right now, because he's taken already by me. Point blank period. I feel like usually I have a lot of like I feel like I usually have like a lot of background knowledge and, you know, points to pull from in my own life. Nobody that I've ever liked has had any fan edits made of them, so I cannot speak to that. But give me a second. Let me see what I can say. I feel like maybe as a celebrity or a person of any type of stature, you have to maybe be aware that people are going to know you for what you do in like let's say it's some, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like athletes that I have a crush on. Like, let's say this is Jordan Poole, which listen here, Reddit user, several walk 5261. If it's Jordan Poole, bitch, I'm gonna only tell you, I'm coming to you as a woman. Back up. Anyway, get away from him. I feel like when you're a person of that stature, you pretty much have to keep in mind, I feel like, that people are going to know what you do. Edits are just fun, right? I don't think they mean anything. Reddit user several walk 5261. I don't think he'd be creeped out about it. If anything, he might be a little endeared by it. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think you're fine. Don't worry about it. If you've made it this far, as long as you haven't like put on this persona of like, I don't even know who you were before this. You play basketball? What's basketball? You're on the Washington Wizards? Where's Washington? Like, I feel like as long as you weren't acting completely like, what's the word? Completely, completely clueless. I could not think of the word. As long as you weren't acting completely clueless the entire time, I'm sure in some aspect he at least has to know that you know who he is. I don't think it's that deep. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If it's Jordan Poole, bitch. Bitch. But that's crazy. Could you imagine dating one of your celebrity crushes? That's maddening to me. I don't even, like I said last week, I don't know. I wouldn't say I met Jack Harlow, I guess. He met me. I mean, hello. No, I wouldn't say I really met him. We interacted, but like, I don't even know how I would react if I actually met a celebrity that I have a crush on. Well, I know how I acted when I interacted with Jack Harlow, which is that I almost fell to my knees. So I could not imagine, like, la-di-da-di-da, I'm at a Bruno Mars concert. Oh, I met him really quick before the concert. How cool. I'm still shaking and sweating from the event. La-di-da-di-da, I'm in line to get my popcorn. And I tap my shoulder, and Bruno Mars is right behind me. First of all, I'm putting him in my pocket, and we're going home. Because he's cute in pocket size. Like, you're coming home with me now. Thanks. Like, I don't think I could be like, just casually flirting with my fave. Girl, teach me your secrets. Ooh, this one seems fun. So the headline is it a possibility that he likes me? Okay, so honestly, I need you guys' help. So I'm a 20-year-old female, and I started working at this restaurant about a month ago. Oh, God. I'm going to tell you right now, Reddit user appropriate dare 9502. In a restaurant, bitch, that man doesn't like you. He probably doesn't even respect you. And I know you're probably like, oh, Shamira, you sound so jaded. Listen to the rest of the story. Y'all heard what I talked about earlier, right? I worked in 2 restaurants. Trust and believe. What is that Gwen Stefani lyric? Few times I've been around that track. I don't even know the next line. It's not gonna happen like that. Because it ain't no holla back girl. I don't know what she was talking about. But that first part. Few times I've been around that track. Let's keep reading. And I met this really nice guy there. He's 19. Oh, God, it gets worse. I feel like he's been giving me mixed signals. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. I feel like he's been giving mixed signals, though, because I don't know if he's like this with everybody, but he's so sweet and respectful. He seems nervous around me when we run into each other or when we cross ways, but I really just don't know. Yesterday, though, I got fist bumped, and I asked my coworkers, and they were literally saying it's friend zone all the way. But TBH, we don't really know each other for him to hug me, so I guess. IDK, so please help a girl out. Okay. First of all, I'm going to say this. Appropriate dare 9502. When you like a person, you are going to fixate on anything they do. There's two ways to look at it. I'm going to look at it from the situation of I'm an outsider looking in, and I'm going to give you a dose of reality. A fist bump means nothing, right? A fist bump is a fist bump. But if we're going to talk on the Delulu side, if me and you are going to get Delulu, the Delulu duo, a fist bump is breaking the touch barrier, which is just a little bit closer. I'm trying to think if I'm going to indulge you in this Delulu-ness. It depends what the conversation was. Like, how did you get the fist bump? Like, what was the situation leading up to it? But no, I feel like if a guy is going to break physical touch and he likes you, it's going to be something that is like, he's going to be up in your personal space. A fist bump might be a friend zone thing, babe. I'm sorry to let you know. But I'm going to let you know this right now. Don't even get your hopes up. A man that works in a restaurant is a terrible person. And don't let him be a line cook. She didn't specify. Do not let this man be a line cook. I promise you, I'm coming to you as a woman. You are going to set yourself up for failure. Look at my eyes. Do I not look like I've seen pain? Let it go. There's never been a man that's worked in a restaurant that has ever been good for anyone's mental health. That I can promise you. I swear on Cowboy Carter, that's not a good move. Don't do it. I would say don't read into it. If a guy likes you or at least wants to be intimately involved, he will let you know. Now, that is also a lie because men are very indirect sometimes, but if there is something there, you'll be able to feel it from something other than a fist bump. That's my advice. Ooh, this is kind of a long one. Okay. So the subtitle is, am I making the biggest mistake of my life if I end things with a great guy? 6 months ago, I started dating a wonderful man who I met through a dating site. We hit it off right from the start, connecting through conversation and getting to know each other. One thing you should know is that we live quite a distance apart, which means we can only meet once a month. Despite the distance, I found myself really drawn to him after our first meeting. I decided to express my feelings and let him know that I didn't just want a casual relationship. I genuinely wanted to be with him. However, he made it clear that he was not ready for a committed relationship and prefers to take things slow. Surprisingly, I was okay with that, even though I didn't expect to be. I saw the potential in him and was willing to see where things could go. But here's where I'm struggling, his communication skills. My red flag? Oh, it's up. Okay. They're quite appalling, to be honest. There are times where he can go a day or two without messaging me, and it leaves me feeling a bit neglected. I've even questioned whether he really likes me, and he assures me that he does. We've had conversations about it, and he has apologized for his lack of communication, but sadly, it hasn't improved much. Now, when we're together in person, it's a whole different story. He's absolutely amazing. Okay, all right, there's some nuance here. He's caring, loving, and funny, and truly a well-rounded and beautiful human. It's just a long-distance aspect that poses a challenge, especially when we can't have regular conversation or even phone calls. He's not a fan of using his phone and prefers old-school methods of communication. Well, what does that mean? Okay. So that's where things stand at the moment. I'm navigating the complexities of a long-distance relationship and struggling with the lack of communication, and I'm going to talk to him in the morning about ending our relationship. But I can't help thinking I'm making the biggest mistake of my life, losing such a great man. I respect and adore him completely, but I'm finding the lack of communication really tough. All right, Reddit user Queasy ad. Okay, now that I have the full story. Going back to what he said, so you told him right from the jump, hey, I like you, I want to lock this down. He said, Slow your horses, babe. I don't know if I'm there yet. Now, wait, let me read this part again. He's not ready for a committed relationship and prefers to take things slow. Now, I'm not trying to get into semantics, but if he's not ready for a committed relationship, then what are we taking things slow for? Because in my mind, if I don't want to commit a relationship, then I'm on the move. I'm big wheel keep on turning, proud Mary keep on burning. We're rolling on a river. What's the point of moving slow if you don't want anything out of it? Something about that isn't enough for me. Now, that just could be the way that they worded it, but y'all see what I'm saying here? Again, let me give you a metaphor, because I'm good at metaphors. What is the point of walking through every aisle of the grocery store if you know you came in there for bread, milk, and butter? Why are we all the way in the produce section? You came in here for bread, milk, and butter. That's aisles. I'm just saying, right? So he's a great guy despite all these things, right? I feel like if communication is a big deal to you, he's apologized for it, but an apology means nothing unless that person wants to change, or unless that person is doing the work to change. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, I mean, if somebody, it doesn't, despite someone being sorry for something, someone can be an amazing person, but I'm telling you right now, if they keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's not so much that it's coming off as like you don't respect me, but it's like you don't have the foresight to remember that I don't like this thing that you're doing. And you don't even want to change it about yourself. So where does that leave me then? I'm just supposed to suffer because you refuse to change. Now, she puts in here that he prefers old school methods of communication, but he doesn't use his phone. So then what else is there? Like, I mean, obviously there's face to face, but like that's not even an old school method of communication. I would consider like talking on the phone, like having a phone conversation is an old school method of communication, in my opinion, just because there's so many other ways that you can communicate with people nowadays. FaceTime, even though FaceTime is kind of like a phone call, but it at least adds kind of like a video element that I think kind of changes how you feel about a phone call. But, there's phone call, there's texts, you can do voice memos, social media and stuff, Snapchat and things like that. Like there's so many other ways to keep up with people that at its very core minimum, I feel like phone calls are kind of like that older style of communication. And so if he's not into that, then like, what else is there? I want to see what some of the replies are saying. Okay, let's see. So this first comment says, have you been to his home? Or is there a chance that he's in a committed relationship? Ooh, clock it. He told you from the start he wants something casual. Okay, see, so I'm not the only person thinking that. That means that he doesn't want to be in constant contact. Casual equals no obligation to communicate except when making plans. You, on the other hand, want someone to commit to you. For some reason, you sacrifice that for someone that told you. Ooh, okay, this Reddit user, they're clocking T. For some reason, you sacrifice that for someone who told you that he won't do that. Why? You're not getting what you need for this relationship, and if you stay in it, you close yourself off from meeting someone appropriate for you. Now, Reddit user, you gotta be kidding, hit the nail on the head. He told you. He told you what he wanted. Even if he could be I just took my headphone out. He could be a great guy, but if he told you from the jump, I don't want anything serious, and this is the problem. I'm telling you this. Look at my eyes. Do I not look like someone who has been through pain? I'm telling you. Sometimes us women, we get this thing in our head, this voice in our head where it's like, well, I know he said this thing, but like, I'm just such a delight. And he can tell that I enjoy being around him so much that he's gonna want to be around me. But I'm telling you this right now because I've heard it from the horse's mouth themselves. A man has his intentions set from the second. It's not like in the movies. It's really not like in the movies. In the movies you see it and, you see like the lovers to friends trope. Oh, no, you see the friends to lovers trope, or you see like the, like, oh, I'm such a playboy, but this girl wants going to make me change my ways. It's not like that. At least not for you, Reddit user. I already forgot your name, girly. Reddit user Queasy Ad 1202. It's not like that. If a man tells you from the jump what he wants, I promise you he's not changing from that. I promise you. So this whole idea of, oh, he's perfect and all this stuff, but I've already told him and he doesn't want to change. What's that one K. Michelle song? 'Cause you can't raise a man. He's already grown. What you gonna do? You wonder why he act like a boy. 'Cause he wasn't raised right before you. Hey, and you ain't never. Now, K. Michelle, banshee as she might be, that's my girl. Yeah, girl, you're gonna have to end the relationship with him. He might be a quote unquote great guy, but he's not a great guy for you. And that's all that matters. I mean, this person hit the nail on the head. I want to see what else people are saying. 6 months ago, and you've only seen him once a month, so you've only been on 6-ish dates. You don't really know him at all. You don't seem aligned with what you're looking for, and you already don't like his communication enough to consider ending it with him. Seems like it's worth taking an honest evaluation of it. Is the good outweighing the turmoil of missing communication? The situation reads as he's not that interested, or as someone else said, he's in a committed relationship. Clock it. I would low-key honestly disagree. I guess it depends on what kind of dates y'all have been on, but 6 dates is definitely enough to get to know someone, especially if y'all are doing activities or if you're just having good enough conversation. 6 dates is definitely enough of time to get to know someone on. Maybe not enough to make things official, but I feel like 6 dates in, you kind of know that person. I don't know. But yeah, girl, dump him, and you might feel sad about it, but as the great poet Glorilla once said, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow. You'll be fine. This is so funny. Can someone please tell me why I keep getting called Unk on TikTok? Is it an insult or what? That's so funny. Okay. It depends how old you are, really. Reddit user Henry Merritt. Unk and auntie can be terms of endearment. They could mean something nice. They could mean that someone looks to you like a source of comfort, or you just have like a wise older energy about you, and that can be endearing. I've been called an auntie several times, but that's because I like a good glass of wine, I love my caftan, and I love listening to I love Sweet Love by Mary J. Blige. You're my heat, you're all my fire, you make me weak with strong desire. I love you, child, my whole life long. Be it right, I'll be wrong. I just want to satisfy you, but you're not mine and I can't deny you. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Love me now or I'll go crazy. Whoa, whoa, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? I love that song. So I could be considered an auntie for that, right? But I'm not going to lie. Gen Z and the beginnings of Gen Alpha, which I just learned is what the generation after Gen Z will be called, they've gotten just a tad disrespectful with it. Because a guy could be like, I used to listen to Macklemore. I don't know. That's my example that I came up with. And you could get called Unk for that. Simply because you just have you partake in something that is outside of the realm of what these kids think is like young and hip nowadays. It's so strange to me. So I wouldn't say take it personally, because Gen Z is a very weird bunch in general. Like, because I work on a college campus, I work with a lot of Gen Z. And when I tell you, it is just the things that they say and like do and the things they find funny and entertaining nowadays. I'm just like, am I losing it? Like, am I not in the in crowd anymore? And I'm always on my phone, always on TikTok. So like, I feel generally up to date with things going on. But then there are some things I'm just like, wow, this is it. Like, this is where I start to feel old now. So, but that's just so funny. Ooh, when's this one? This one seems interesting. Okay, so this one The subtitle is How to Handle My Boyfriend's New Female Friend. So this person is a 23-year-old female, and their boyfriend is also a 23-year-old male. He recently made a new friend at work, a new female friend at work, probably around 7 months ago at this point. Not long after he started talking about her to me, he told me that she needed a roommate for next year, and he asked if I would be comfortable with them living together. At the time, I felt a little uneasy about it because they would be living together one-on-one, but he's had other female roommates in the past, and it's never been an issue, so I figured there's no reason for me to be uncomfortable with it. Fast forward a few months after they signed their lease, and I noticed that they've gone from work friends to actual close friends. They carpool together to work and events involving their other coworkers regularly. They text often, and she tells him a lot of personal problems and her dating problems. I started to feel a little anxious because they would just be living... Wait, what? I started to feel a little anxious just because they would be living together, and I was worried about them getting closer. Can I read? Hello? I started to feel a little anxious just because they would be living together, and I was worried with them getting closer, I may start to feel like a third wheel. I know someone is going to ask why we don't live together. He's asked me, but I don't really feel ready yet. I then asked him if I could meet her, and we ended up all going to lunch together, which went well, and she seems nice. This made me feel a little bit more comfortable, but I still have some lingering anxiety about it because it seems like their friendship only continues to grow closer. He talks about her to me a lot and tells me every detail about her dating life, which is starting to annoy me because I don't understand why he's so invested in it. He talks to me about how bad the guys that she goes for are, some of them being their coworkers. Oh, bitch. They haven't moved in together yet, but I'm starting... Bitch, they don't even live together yet? Oh, no. Almost knocked over my computer. Oh, no. What does it say? They haven't even moved in together yet, but I'm starting to have anxiety that maybe his feelings will grow for her. That maybe he's growing feelings that will only get stronger for her when they live together. He's a great boyfriend and does a lot of things in our relationship, and I'm worried to keep bringing this up to him because I don't want to come off jealous or controlling. I've spoken to a friend about this, and many tell me that they think the situation is suspicious. I can be a little bit jealous at times, and it's hard for me to tell the difference between actual red flags and just my insecurities. See, and now, okay, I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to work backwards. I thought that they had already moved in together. I don't want to be that person that tells you that you should tell your boyfriend that he can or cannot have friends of the opposite sex. However, they don't even live together yet, and she's trauma dumping on him, and they hang out with other people, or she's trauma dumping on him. They go to work together. They're always talking. And you know what? It's not even the always talking that really bothers me. If y'all are talking at work, it's the always texting too. So now when you're with me, you're texting her. What's going on there? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you? 'Cause I'm in so deep. I was really trying to find a way to work that song in here so far, because that song has been stuck in my head. I just want to take a moment to sing it with you all. Sing along if you know the lyrics. I'm just going to do the chorus. And why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Is it just a game to you? But I'm in so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? They cannot take TikTok away. I've been put on to so many good songs and just like, anyway. My first problem is that they don't even live together and they clearly already have a relationship that is growing. Now look, I have friends at work. I have friends that I'm pretty close to, but I'm definitely not talking to those friends, especially my guy work friends. I'm not talking to them at all hours of the day. We might send each other something here and there on social media, but like all the time, that's a little red flag. Now, something else that is equally as concerning, Miss Girl has already dated other coworkers. Babe, in the business, we call that an MO. That is concerning. I don't think you're being jealous. I think you have plausible reason to tell your boyfriend, hey, so here's a few funny things that I found. What do you think about this? Because you have every right to be a little concerned. Even if she seems nice, you still need to keep your guard up. And I'm not saying be mean to her, but I think in this situation, what would be best, tell him, sit him down and be very honest. Hey, these are the things that I'm noticing. This is what I'm afraid of. His reaction to everything will let you know how you should move forward. Because as your boyfriend, he should be able to respect, hey, so I'm feeling concerned about these things. And I will say, maybe what you ask him will also determine, what he says. But, let's say you go at him and you're like, hey, A, B, and C is concerning about your new living situation coming up. And I just want to talk about them and see if we can, find ways for me to feel better about the situation because I don't feel good about it. If he shuts you down, if he silences you, if he gaslights you in any way, I hate to say it, babe, you already know your answer. You already know how this is going to go. If he at least hears you out, I think there's some good work that can be done, but it all starts with his initial response. Now, you said that you're a little bit jealous. I'd be nervous that he would try to use that against you, but this is me obviously thinking the worst of him. I don't know her boyfriend, but if he's worth what's the phrase? If he's worth the salt that he eats, that's probably not it. But if he's worth a damn, at the very least, he will hear you out and say, okay, yeah, I can see why you would feel that way. But he also needs to do something to fix it. It's not even so much about acknowledging how you feel, because honestly, what you feel is very, very valid. Girl, the fact that they don't even live together yet is crazy to me. That's bonkers, bitch. Oh, Lord. That makes me nervous for you. But Reddit user, what's your name? Reddit user Soft Pomegranate 313. I hope that your boyfriend will be able to kind of see how you feel about the situation and take your feelings into consideration going forward. So, enjoy these behind the scenes of the Realer Than Real podcast. I fear it's a song of the summer. Miley Cyrus is a generational talent. She is literally so talented, and I feel like people know it, but they don't actually understand. I think it's that she's versatile. I think that's what really stands out for me. So you would have no way of knowing this, but that last break was super long. And I'm sitting here why am I so tired? Why do I not have the energy to go on? And I'm is it the little glass of wine that I had that's now been watered down by the ice cubes? And I look at what time it is. You guys, it's 2:42 a.m. Hello? Jeez, where'd all the time go? I'm just full of songs tonight. I'm just a little jukebox. As usual, I don't really have a third segment planned. Let's play a little game or something. I'm gonna look up a random topic generator, right? And we're gonna see what it gives me. And we're gonna see if I can come up with a story. If I have a story that relates to it in any way, shape, or form. And we're just gonna see what happens. Okay, what is an album you could listen to all the way straight through? There's literally so many albums. The first one that comes to mind as of recent, like a more recent one, would have to be Renaissance, obviously. There isn't a single time where if I put on like one of the created playlists by Spotify and it plays a song from Renaissance, my brain is ready to hear the next song on the album at all times. So when that song is not next that plays, I will go into the album. Like, let's say, like, if a playlist has I'm That Girl, then I'm gonna need to hear Cozy. And then I'm gonna need to hear Alien Superstar. And then, of course, I'm gonna need to hear Cuff It. And then Break My Soul. And then it goes on and on and on. Oh, no, wait, I don't know. I got it wrong. Not Cuff It, Energy, then Break My Soul. I'm here. Don't shoot me. No, don't shoot me. I got it. But, like, Renaissance, I think, is just a masterpiece. Like, it just is one of those albums that, like, it takes you through a story. I love it every single time. An Evening with Silk Sonic, that's another good one. I haven't listened to it all the way through in a while, but that's another good one. I'm literally looking at, not physically Bruno Mars right across from me, but I'm looking at the vinyl of 24 Karat Magic. Another one I could listen to all the way through. So that's what reminded me of that. Rihanna's Anti album. Oh, God, I used to love that album. Ran it into the ground when I was in college. I could definitely go for another listen of that. Harry Styles, his debut album, self-titled Harry Styles, beautiful album. Jasmine Sullivan's Hose Tales is another good one. Those are just some off the top of my head, I think. Let's generate another topic. Would you prefer to watch movies in a theater or in the comfort of your own home? Ooh, that's a good question. There is something to be said about the feeling of going to a movie theater and like the collective experience of watching a movie with strangers and everyone kind of has the same reaction to something, whether it's a laugh or a jump scare to something. There is something to be said about that feeling. Or even if you take away the communal aspect, there's just something fun about the theater. I think especially post-COVID, I really do love going to the movie theater. Like, I love the kind of like surround sound experience. Like, I have a decent sized TV. It's not too big, not too small. It's fine to watch movies on, you know. I clearly have a vibe in my apartment. If I can get the lights down right, it can be a good time. With that being said, there's something about the movie theater that you really can't replace. No, but what we could stand to replace is them goddamn prices. It's no reason for that. And this is not something new, but I feel like it's just continued to have gotten worser. Mr. AMC, come to the front. Fix it. I'm going to have to say the theater, even though obviously I love being at home and being comfortable, but truly the theater experiences. Like, if I saw the Renaissance movie at home, would I have ate it up? Yes, completely. But seeing it in theater, bitch, I couldn't replace that feeling. What is a fashion trend you are really glad? What is a fashion trend you're really glad that went away? Oh, God. Anything really from like my college era of like going out outfits. It's rare that I find one that I'm not completely cringing at. For me personally, this is for me. I could throw up right now. I would say probably wearing leggings out as going out pants. Yeah, I would say that. I've never really actually been a part of this one, but I mean, I don't know though. I guess like high-waisted jeans weren't always a thing, but I just don't feel like I've ever worn low-rise jeans. Like, I never had the body for a low-rise anything, but I mean, but those are actually coming back. So I would say for me, I'm happy that wearing leggings as going out pants, like going out clothes, have like gone away. For me again, I would say skinny jeans. I don't think I'll ever purchase a pair of skinny jeans. I don't even like skinny jean slacks now. Like, I adore pants that give me some space and just have a little bit of room in the leg area, like down by, you know, the calves and whatnot. Yeah, I would say those. This would be a good question to end it off because it's a callback to what we talked about earlier. What is your least favorite job that you've ever had? Okay. So when I was working at Red Robin, I remember, this is so embarrassing. I remember I went and interviewed at this place, and I'm not gonna lie, honestly, the signs should have been there, but I was so caught up in being able to get like my first kind of like big girl job outside of college. I was like, oh, hell yeah, like I don't know what we're doing here, but I want to do it because everyone here seems so into what they're doing. It was a door-to-door sales job, and the company was selling like a rival, like I think it was like a rival home and Wi-Fi provider to like your typical Verizon, AT&T, what else is out there? Like, let's say it was called Lamp, like Lamp Services, and Lamp Services is supposed to be comparable and better than Xfinity and Verizon and all this stuff because it combined all these things. And I remember I interviewed there, again, got hired right on the spot. And so I'm like excited to go. It was a little bit far. I mean, not further than my commute now, which is literally 2 hours to DC, but at least this is a real job. But this was a little bit far. And I remember my first day, I'm thinking it was going to be a chill first day. So I show up wearing like these little kitten heels on my first day. I did bring, I brought sandals with me just because something told me, I was like, these shoes are going to hurt your feet eventually. It'd be good to change into these. And boy, was I happy. This was in the middle of the summer, maybe around like June or something. And my first day, they got me walking, and first of all, wait, do you know, like, I know you guys seen the memes of like, y'all know what Forex is, right? It's basically the same thing, like this made up like door-to-door salesman thing. And I remember in the morning, we all like went into this meeting, and it's like, here's our goals for the day, and they would break us off into groups and whatnot. And I was with this group of guys, and we drove to this area that was out by like Arundel Mills, which, I mean, if you know the area, it's fine. But like, if you do know the area, Arundel Mills is like very affluent. One of the more affluent areas in the larger kind of like Baltimore City, Baltimore County type vibes, right? So we go out there and we go to this like giant, like, condo complex, and we're walking. It's so hot outside, and I just know we're walking like door to door. We're knocking on stuff. Eventually the guy like tells me to go knock on a few doors by myself to like really try it out. And I'm knocking on these doors. I remember I got one sell my first day, which was like, they said it was unheard of on the first day. What I really think is that they tell everyone that because when you come back at the end of the day and you do a big circle, they call it like the gong chant, which was so fucking weird. And like everyone like gathers in a circle, and everyone's like patting on their legs and like making noise, and then someone runs in the middle of the circle and they like say how many sales they got, and they like throw down the gong to like challenge someone else. So people are like, my name's Brittany and I got 7 sales today. She throws down the gong and everyone says, "Bwong." You guys, it was fucking insane. And I'm like, that's when it clicked for me. I was like, oh, this is nutty as hell. And so they're going, and the guy that was with me all day, he's like, go say your thing. So I'm like, I'm Shamira and I got 1 sale. And then they were like, no, you have to do the thing. And I'm like, are we all not like too grown for this? Like this is too much. And so I think I went back the next day because I was like, okay, like this is my job. Mind you, I don't really think I didn't fill out any paperwork. Well, wait, I think I might have filled out 1 tax form. I surely didn't fill out anything else. No, like, employee, no employee record type forms. Definitely not any direct deposit forms. I'll go back the next day. At this point, I'm way more exhausted. Like, I'm tired that first day. I mean, sun exhaustion is real. The fatigue of just, like, all the energy that's in that place. I was over it. The next day, I get sent out with a different group of people. I don't have any success the next day, and I'm on my way home. I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore. One thing I'm not is a salesperson. I'll never be that kind of person. And so I remember because somewhere along my commute home, in my head, I was like, this place is not a real job. So I don't need to put in like a 2 weeks resignation or anything like that. I texted the woman who hired me. I don't even know if she's the boss or whatever. She told me some crazy story how she made all this money. She was able to put her little sister through college on her own money. But, yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, I'm so sure her name was Megan. I was like, hey, Megan, my mom got a job in Virginia, so we're moving. And she was like, Shamira, I know that you're unsure about this position, but come in tomorrow and we can talk. She read me like a book, which tells me that I'm not the first person to quit this job automatically. So, girl, if you know that, I don't know. The whole thing was like so weird. The whole thing was like this made up sales things where like it's a bunch of people who have these dreams of like getting to this place of like, I don't know, Wolf of Wall Street level. And it's like, babe, I don't know if any of us are ever going to get there. So I worked there for 2 days, never got paid for my work, which I'm guessing it was all commission anyway. But I did make a sale though. But you know what it was? Because I was still new, my like profile or like sales account hadn't been set up. So my sale went to the guy that I was working with that day. Now that's rob.com. I was robbed. I don't want to say the quiet part out loud, but I'm going to touch my own hand when I say this. That's slavery. That's literally slavery. Anyway, this podcast is going to be a long one. I feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I know for you, it might not be almost 3 a.m., but for me, it surely is. So I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. And I hope you had fun. And I can't wait to see your gorgeous, handsome, sexy, beautiful, lovable, delightful, invigorating, intoxicating face here next week. Until next time, my dear, be safe, be kind, and know that you are loved. Bye.